Hello everyone! Welcome back to English Listening and Speaking channel. Don't forget to subscribe my channel for more videos every day.
Easy English Story for Beginners, English Listening Practice channel. Hello, and welcome back to our English Stories and Listening Practice channel. Today, we have a new story for you. The title of today's story is Cooking Dinner for My Friends. This is a simple story about friendship, cooking, food, and a fun evening with friends. The main character in our story is a young woman named Anna. Anna works in an office and has a busy life. One day, she decides to invite 3 of her friends to her home for dinner. She wants to cook a delicious meal for everyone. But cooking dinner for 4 people is not as easy as she thinks. She has to go shopping. She has to prepare the food. She has to clean her apartment. And, of course, there are a few unexpected problems along the way. But in the end, Anna learns that a perfect dinner is not about perfect food. It is about spending time with people you care about. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this easy English story.
My name is Anna. I am 27 years old. I live in a small apartment in a busy city. I work at a small office near the center of the city. I usually enjoy my job. I work with many nice people and I have a good manager. But sometimes my work is very busy. Last week was one of those weeks. On Monday, I had a lot of work. On Tuesday, I had 2 important meetings. On Wednesday, I had to finish a big project. On Thursday, I stayed at the office until 8 o'clock at night. By Friday, I was very tired. When I left the office on Friday evening, I was happy that the weekend had finally arrived. I walked to the bus stop. I sat on a bench and looked at my phone. I had several messages. One message was from my friend Daniel. Another message was from my friend Lisa. And another was from my friend Mark. Daniel, Lisa, and Mark were 3 of my closest friends. We had all met at university many years ago. We were still good friends, but we were all very busy now. Sometimes we went for coffee together. Sometimes we went to a restaurant. Sometimes we watched movies at someone's apartment. But recently, we had not spent much time together. I looked at my friends' messages. I suddenly had an idea. I opened our group chat. I typed, "Hey everyone, are you free tomorrow evening?" A few seconds later, Daniel replied, "I am free. Why?" Then Lisa wrote, "Me too." Mark replied, "I think so. What's happening?" I smiled. I wrote, "How about dinner at my apartment?" There was a short silence. Then Daniel wrote, "Are you cooking?" I laughed. I replied, "Yes, I am cooking." Lisa wrote, "Really? This sounds interesting." I knew what she meant. My friends knew that I was not the best cook in the world. I replied, "Hey, I can cook." Daniel wrote, "Okay, Anna, we believe you." Then Mark sent a laughing emoji. I laughed. I wrote, "Very funny. Dinner is at 7 o'clock tomorrow." Lisa replied, "I'll be there." Daniel wrote, "Me too." Mark said, "I'm coming. Should I bring anything?" I thought for a moment. Then I wrote, "No, just bring yourselves." Everyone agreed. I put my phone in my bag. I smiled. I was tired after a long week. But now, I was excited. I had dinner plans with my friends. There was only one problem. I had no idea what I was going to cook. When I got home, I changed my clothes. Then, I went into the kitchen. I opened the refrigerator. I looked inside. There was not much food. I had some eggs. I had a little cheese. I had some milk. There were 2 tomatoes. I also had half an onion. I looked at the food. Then I looked at my kitchen. This is not enough for 4 people. I closed the refrigerator. I sat at the kitchen table. I started thinking. What should I cook? I wanted to make something delicious, but I also wanted to make something easy. I thought about pizza. Pizza was easy, but I wanted to cook something myself. Then I thought about pasta. Everyone likes pasta. I could make pasta with chicken and vegetables. That sounded good. For dessert, I could make a simple chocolate cake. I smiled. Yes, I said to myself, I will make pasta and chocolate cake. I took out my phone. I searched for a simple pasta recipe. I found one. The recipe was easy to understand. I needed chicken, I needed pasta, I needed tomatoes, I needed onions, I needed garlic, I needed green peppers, I needed cheese. I also needed some cream. Then I looked for a chocolate cake recipe. I needed flour, I needed sugar, I needed eggs, I needed butter, I needed milk, and of course, I needed chocolate. I opened the Notes app on my phone. I made a shopping list. My list was very long. I looked at it. Okay, I said, I need to go shopping tomorrow morning. Then I sent a message to my friends. Dinner tomorrow at 7. Don't be late. Daniel replied, Don't worry, we won't be late. Lisa wrote, I'm excited. Mark said, I hope the food is good. I laughed. I wrote, It will be. Then I went to bed. I was tired, but before I fell asleep, I thought about the dinner. I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted my apartment to look nice. I wanted the food to taste good. I wanted my friends to have a great time. I closed my eyes. Tomorrow was going to be a busy day. The next morning, I woke up at 8 o'clock. I got out of bed. I opened the curtains. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful morning. I made myself a cup of coffee. Then I ate some toast. After breakfast, I took my shopping list. I put on my shoes. I picked up my shopping bag. Then I walked to the supermarket. The supermarket was not far from my apartment. It took me about 15 minutes to get there. When I arrived, I took a shopping cart. I looked at my list. The first thing on my list was chicken. I went to the meat section. There were many different kinds of chicken. I chose a package of chicken breasts. Then I went to the vegetable section. I picked up tomatoes. I picked up onions. I picked up garlic. I picked up green peppers. I also saw some fresh mushrooms. I thought about the pasta. Mushrooms would be nice. I put some mushrooms in my cart. Then I went to the pasta section. There were many different kinds of pasta. I chose spaghetti. Then I remembered the cheese. I found some fresh cheese. I put it in my cart. Next, I went to the dairy section. I found some cream. Then I checked my list. Everything for the main dish was in my cart. Now I needed the ingredients for the cake. I found flour. I found sugar. I found eggs. I found butter. I found milk. Then I went to the chocolate section. There were many kinds of chocolate. I chose dark chocolate. I looked at my shopping cart. It was almost full. Suddenly, I remembered something. I needed drinks. I went to the drink section. I bought some orange juice. I bought some sparkling water. I also bought a bottle of apple juice. Then I looked at my list one more time. I had everything. I went to the checkout. The cashier smiled at me. "Good morning." "Good morning." She scanned my food. Beep, beep, beep. The shopping cart was full. When I saw the total price, I was surprised. Wow, I thought. Cooking for 4 people is expensive. I paid for everything. Then I carried my shopping bags home. The bags were very heavy. When I finally arrived at my apartment, I put the bags on the kitchen table. I took a deep breath. I looked at all the food. I had a lot of work to do. Before I started cooking, I decided to clean my apartment. My friends were coming at 7 o'clock. It was only 11 in the morning. I had plenty of time. I started in the living room. I picked up some books from the floor. I put them on the bookshelf. Then I folded the blanket on the sofa. I cleaned the coffee table. I opened the windows. Fresh air came into the apartment. Then I went to the kitchen. The kitchen was not very clean. I washed some dishes. I cleaned the table. I cleaned the kitchen counter. Then I took out the trash. After that, I cleaned the bathroom. I put a clean towel in the bathroom. I checked the living room again. Everything looked good. I was happy. Then I looked at the clock. It was 12:30. I still had a lot of time. I decided to take a short break. I sat on the sofa. I opened my phone. I checked my messages. Daniel had sent a message. "Anna, do you need help with dinner?" I thought about it. I wanted to say no. I wanted to do everything myself. But then I remembered my long shopping list. I replied, "Maybe you can help me with the dishes later." Daniel answered, "Of course." Then Lisa sent a message. "Can I bring something?" I replied, "No, everything is ready." She wrote, "Okay, see you tonight." I smiled. I decided to make the chocolate cake first. I took out all the ingredients: flour, sugar, eggs, butter, milk, chocolate. I put everything on the kitchen counter. Then I found a large bowl. I started following the recipe. First, I put the flour in the bowl. Then I added sugar. Then I added eggs. I mixed everything together. I melted the butter. I added the butter to the bowl. Then I added milk. Finally, I added the chocolate. I mixed everything very carefully. The mixture looked good. I poured it into a cake pan. Then I put the cake in the oven. I checked the recipe. The cake needed to cook for about 35 minutes. I set a timer on my phone. Then I started preparing the main dish. Everything was going well. I was feeling confident. But after about 10 minutes, I heard a strange sound. Beep! I looked at my phone. The timer was ringing. I was confused. I looked at the oven. Then I remembered. I had set the timer for 10 minutes, not 35 minutes. Oh no! I quickly turned off the timer. I laughed. "Anna, you need to be more careful." I set the timer again. This time, I checked the number twice. 35 minutes. Perfect. Then, I went back to the kitchen. I started preparing the chicken. I washed the vegetables. I cut the tomatoes. I cut the onions. I cut the green peppers. I chopped the garlic. Then, I cut the chicken into small pieces. I put a large pan on the stove. I added some oil. Then, I added the chicken. The chicken started cooking. Soon, my kitchen smelled wonderful. I added the onions, then the garlic, then the green peppers, then the tomatoes. Everything looked delicious. I added some salt and pepper. Then, I added the mushrooms. Finally, I added some cream. The sauce looked beautiful. I smiled. This is going to be delicious. Then I checked the oven. The cake was almost ready. I opened the oven. The smell of chocolate filled the kitchen. I smiled. The cake looked perfect. I took it out of the oven. I put it on the table to cool. Everything was going perfectly. Or so I thought.
I continued cooking the pasta. I filled a large pot with water. I put it on the stove. Then I waited for the water to boil. I was feeling happy. I had finished most of the cooking. Then I looked at the clock. It was 4 o'clock. I still had 3 hours before my friends arrived. I decided to take a short rest. I sat on the sofa. I closed my eyes. I was very tired. Just for a few minutes, I thought. But then I fell asleep. When I opened my eyes, I heard a strange sound. Beep, beep, beep. I jumped up. What is that? Then I remembered the kitchen. Oh no! I ran to the kitchen. The water in the pot was boiling. I quickly turned down the heat. Then I looked at the chicken. It was still on the stove. Luckily, it was okay. But the sauce was very thick. I added a little water. Then I mixed it. It looked good again. I checked the time. It was 5:30. I had 1.5 hours left. I still needed to cook the pasta. I also needed to set the table. And I needed to take a shower and change my clothes. I started to feel nervous. Okay, Anna, I said. Don't panic. I took a deep breath. Then I continued cooking. I put the pasta into the boiling water. I checked the instructions on the package. The pasta needed 10 minutes. Perfect. I had plenty of time. I finished cooking the pasta. Then I mixed it with the chicken and vegetables. The food looked amazing. I tasted a little. It was delicious. I was very happy. Then I looked at the cake. It had cooled down. I put some chocolate cream on top. Then I added some strawberries. The cake looked beautiful. I was ready. Almost. I still needed to get ready. I quickly went to my bedroom. I opened my closet. I looked at my clothes. What should I wear? I wanted to look nice, but I did not want to look too formal. I chose a simple blue dress. I put it on. Then I looked in the mirror. I liked it. I brushed my hair. I put on a little makeup. Then I went back to the kitchen. I set the table. I put 4 plates on the table. I put 4 forks. I put 4 knives. I put 4 glasses. Then I put the food on the table. The pasta looked delicious. The chocolate cake looked beautiful. I put the drinks in the refrigerator. Then I looked around my apartment. Everything was ready. I checked the clock. 6:45. My friends would arrive soon. I sat down for a moment. Then my phone rang. It was Lisa. I answered. Hello? Hi, Anna. Hi, Lisa. We're on our way. Great. Do you need anything? No, everything is ready. Okay, we'll be there soon. See ya. See ya. I ended the call. A few minutes later, my phone rang again. This time it was Daniel. Hi, Anna. Hi, Daniel. We're almost there. Great. Are you ready? Yes. Is the food ready? Yes. Can we eat? I laughed. Yes, Daniel, you can eat. Excellent. We both laughed. Then he ended the call. I smiled.
My friends were coming. I was excited. Then I heard the doorbell. Ding dong!
I opened the door. Daniel was standing outside. He was holding a small box. "Hi, Anna." "Hi, Daniel. Come in." He walked inside. "What is that?" "A gift." "A gift?" "Yes." He gave me the box. I opened it. Inside was a beautiful plant. "Oh, Daniel, it's beautiful. I thought you could put it in your living room." "Thank you." "You're welcome." Then we heard another doorbell. Ding dong. It was Lisa. "Hi." "Hi, Lisa." She gave me a big hug. Then she looked around. "Wow, your apartment looks great." "Thank you." "Where is the food?" I laughed. "Hello to you too." Lisa laughed. "Sorry. Hello, Anna." "Hello, Lisa." "Now, where is the food?" "It's in the kitchen." "Great." Then there was another knock at the door. It was Mark. He walked inside. "Hello, everyone." "Hi, Mark." Mark was holding a bottle of sparkling water. "I brought a drink." "Thank you," I said. We all walked into the living room. Everyone looked happy. We talked for a few minutes. Then Daniel said, "Anna, I have an important question." "What?" "Can we eat now?" Everyone laughed. "Okay," I said. "Let's have dinner." We all sat around the table. I served the pasta. Everyone looked at the food. Daniel looked at his plate. "This looks amazing." "Thank you." Lisa looked at me. "Did you really cook all of this?" "Yes." Mark said, "I'm impressed." I laughed. "Thank you." We all started eating. For a few seconds, nobody said anything. Everyone was eating. I looked at my friends. I was nervous. I wanted to know what they thought. Finally, Daniel looked at me. "This is really good." I smiled. "Really?" "Yes." Lisa nodded. "I love it." Mark said, "The chicken is delicious." I felt relieved. "Thank you." Daniel took another bite. "Anna, I didn't know you could cook like this." I laughed. Neither did I. Everyone laughed. We continued eating. We talked about work. We talked about our families. We talked about university. We remembered funny things that happened many years ago. We talked about our old teachers. We talked about our first jobs. We talked about our dreams. The dinner was wonderful. I looked around the table. My 3 best friends were sitting with me. Everyone was smiling. I suddenly realized something. I had spent the whole day worrying about the food. I wanted everything to be perfect. But now, I understood that the food was not the most important thing. The important thing was that we were together. After dinner, we stayed at the table. Daniel looked at us. "I have something to tell you." "What?" Lisa asked. Daniel smiled. "I am moving." Everyone became quiet. "What?" I asked. "I got a new job." "That is great." "Where?" "In another city." I looked at him. "When are you leaving?" "Next month." We were all surprised. Mark asked, "Are you excited?" "Yes, very excited." "But you will be far away," Lisa said.
I know. We were all quiet for a moment. Daniel had been our friend for many years. It was strange to think that he would live in another city. I looked at the table. I suddenly felt sad. Then Daniel smiled.
Hey, don't look so sad. We can still visit each other. Lisa smiled. That's true. Mark said, we can have video calls. Daniel laughed. And Anna can cook dinner for us again. Everyone laughed. I pointed at him. Only if you come back to visit. Of course. We all smiled. Then I had an idea. Let's make a plan. What plan? Daniel asked. We should have dinner together once a month. That sounds good, Lisa said. Mark agreed. Yes, even if we are busy. Daniel smiled. I like that idea. So we made a plan. Every month we would have dinner together. Sometimes at my apartment. Sometimes at Lisa's apartment. Sometimes at Mark's apartment. And when Daniel moved to another city, we would visit him. It was a simple plan, but it made everyone happy. After talking for a long time, I remembered the cake. Wait! Everyone looked at me. What? We haven't had dessert. Daniel smiled. Dessert? Yes! What did you make? Chocolate cake. Everyone looked excited. I went to the kitchen. I brought the cake to the table. Daniel looked at it. Wow, Lisa said. It looks beautiful. Mark said, I want a big piece. I cut the cake. I gave everyone a piece. Then I took a bite. The cake was delicious. I was very happy. Daniel looked at me. Anna, you are a great cook. I smiled. Thank you. Lisa said, you should cook for us more often. I laughed. Okay, but you have to help me. Of course. Mark said, I can help with the food. Daniel said, I can help with the dishes. We all laughed. Then Daniel stood up. Okay, I will start now. He took some plates to the kitchen. I followed him. Soon, everyone was helping. Lisa washed the glasses. Mark cleaned the table. Daniel washed the plates. I put the food away. In just a few minutes, the kitchen was clean. I looked at my friends. Thank you. Daniel smiled. That's what friends are for. After cleaning the kitchen, we returned to the living room. Mark suggested playing a game. We chose a simple question game. Each person had to answer a question. The first question was, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Lisa said, I would go to Italy. Mark said, I would go to Japan. Daniel said, I would go to Australia. Then everyone looked at me. I thought for a moment. I would go to Spain. Why? Lisa asked. Because I want to see Barcelona. That sounds nice, she said. Then it was my turn to ask a question. I asked, what is your favorite memory from university? We all started laughing. We had many memories. Mark talked about a funny trip. Lisa talked about a party. Daniel talked about the first time we all met. Then he looked at me. Do you remember the first dinner we had together? I thought about it. Yes, it was terrible. Everyone laughed. What? I said. You cooked the food. That was a long time ago. Daniel laughed. I remember the pasta. It was not that bad. It was very bad. We all laughed. I shook my head. Okay, I am much better now. Daniel smiled. Yes, you are. We continued talking and laughing. The evening went by very quickly. At 11:30, Mark looked at his phone. Wow, it's late. Lisa stood up. I should go home. Daniel also stood up. Me too. I was a little sad. I did not want the evening to end. But everyone had work the next day. We put on our coats. Daniel picked up his bag. Thank you for dinner, Anna. You're welcome. It was really good. Thank you. Lisa hugged me. I had such a great time. Me too. Mark smiled. We need to do this again. Definitely. We all stood near the door. Then Daniel said, "Don't forget our plan." What plan? I asked. Our monthly dinner. Oh, yes! Next month, we will have dinner at my apartment. But you are moving. I know. Then you have to invite us before you leave. Deal. We all laughed. Then my friends left. I closed the door. The apartment was quiet again. I walked into the kitchen. The table was clean. The dishes were clean. The food was gone. Only a small piece of chocolate cake was left. I smiled. I was tired, but I was very happy. I sat down at the kitchen table. I thought about the evening. I had spent the whole day cooking. I had worried about everything. I had worried about the food. I had worried about the cake. I had worried about my apartment. But none of those things mattered in the end. My friends had come to my home. We had shared a meal. We had talked. We had laughed. We had shared important news. And we had made a new plan for the future. That was what really mattered. The next morning, I woke up and remembered the dinner. I smiled. I checked my phone. There were 3 new messages. The first message was from Daniel. Thank you for dinner. The food was amazing. The second was from Lisa. I had such a wonderful evening. Let's do it again soon. The third was from Mark. The cake was perfect. I smiled. Then I replied, "Thank you all for coming. I had a great time too." A few minutes later, Daniel sent another message. "Remember, next month's dinner is at my place." I laughed. I wrote, "Okay, but you have to cook." Daniel replied, "Oh no." Everyone laughed in the group chat. From that day, our monthly dinner became a tradition. Every month we met together. Sometimes we cooked. Sometimes we ordered food. Sometimes we went to a restaurant. But we always had a good time. A few weeks later, Daniel moved to another city. We missed him, but he still joined our dinners through video calls. Sometimes he could not come. Sometimes Lisa was busy. Sometimes Mark had to work. But we always tried to find a day when everyone was free. And when we could not all meet, we never stopped being friends. Cooking dinner for my friends taught me something important. Sometimes we think we need to do something big to make people happy. We think we need expensive food. We think we need a beautiful house. We think we need a perfect dinner. But we don't. Sometimes the simplest things are the best. A simple meal. A simple conversation. A few good friends, and a little time together. That is enough. I also learned that cooking does not have to be perfect. The first time I cooked for my friends, I was nervous. I wanted everything to be perfect. But my friends did not care about perfection. They cared about spending time together. They cared about friendship. They cared about being there for each other. That is why I still love cooking dinner for my friends. It is not just about food. It is about creating memories. It is about sharing stories. It is about laughing together. It is about listening to each other. And sometimes it is about helping each other through difficult times. Today, I still remember that dinner. It was not the most expensive dinner. It was not in a fancy restaurant. It was not perfect. But it was one of the best evenings I have ever had. That night, I learned something simple. Good food is nice. A beautiful home is nice. A perfect dinner is nice. But good friends are more important. If you have good friends, make time for them. Call them. Send them a message. Invite them to dinner. You don't have to cook a complicated meal. You can make something simple. You can order pizza.
You can order pizza. You can make sandwiches. You can even have a cup of coffee together. The food does not matter as much as the time you spend together. So if you have not seen your friends for a long time, why not invite them to dinner? You might have a wonderful evening. You might laugh. You might share stories. You might make a new memory. And maybe, just maybe, your simple dinner will become one of your favorite memories. Here are some useful English sentences from today's story. Are you free tomorrow evening? How about dinner at my apartment? Are you cooking? Should I bring anything? Just bring yourself. I need to go shopping. What should I cook? Everything is ready. Come in. Dinner is ready. This looks amazing. This is really good. I had a great time. Thank you for coming. Let's do this again. That's what friends are for. We should have dinner together once a month. The food was amazing. Thank you for listening to Cooking Dinner for My Friends. I hope you enjoyed this easy English story. If you are learning English, try listening to this story again. The first time, listen to understand the main idea. The second time, listen for new words and expressions. The third time, try to repeat some sentences aloud. This is a great way to improve your English listening, vocabulary, pronunciation, and speaking skills. Remember, you don't need to understand every word the first time. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep learning. And don't forget to make time for the people you love. Sometimes a simple dinner with good friends can become a beautiful memory that you remember for many years. Thank you for listening. See you in the next English stories and listening practice. Keep learning English and have a wonderful day.